Hello and welcome to the Stars Gaming Show. This is episode 19. And yeah, again, been a couple of weeks since the last one, so there's probably lots to talk about, or there's probably nothing to talk about, but all we talk about is games, so that doesn't really change because none of us really play new games. So.
Nah.
We are missing one of our guests for today, which is Mr. Joshua J. He is visiting some family, or he is having family visit him. I'm not sure which way around. So we're going to have a great show without him, of course, because, well, why would it be pessimistic and say, it's just going to be a terrible show now? There's no Josh. Oh. But either way, we do have Footloose 2005.
Hey folks, how's it going?
We do have the Game Busters J.
Hello.
And we do have a very packed show for you today. We do have, of course, the What You Playing, which we just talk about what we've been playing. Game of the Week and Bag of Shit of the Week. We have our individual shows. Jay, did you manage to think of anything to fill in for your 5 facts thing?
Yeah, sort of.
Alright, awesome. So we do have that as well. And of course we have the headline show, which is going to be games that need to be remade / remastered for current generation consoles or PC or whatever as your preference is. I'm sure we'll all have very interesting takes. I hope nobody has the same thing. I would doubt it. There's so many possibilities. But who knows? There might be some crock in there. I'm not sure. We're going to start off with...
maybe.
Final J. We're going to start off with what you playing, and I'm just going to quickly say that for myself, I've not been playing anything, like, at all. I have one thing that I played for about 4 hours in the last 2 weeks, and that's going to be on my indie game part, so I'll talk about that then. I'm going to start with Jay. So what have you been playing over the past couple of weeks?
I'm the same as you. I haven't really been playing anything at all. Yeah. I don't know. There are so many games that I want to buy, but you kind of need a job and money for that. So, and I'll be honest, I'm kind of bored of playing my old games now. So I just don't really play much of anything anymore, until I, eventually get money to get new games. I've been trying to kind of get back into Yu-Gi-Oh! I did have a bit of a Duel Link spree this week. I did live stream it a little bit, and it was all right. But I played it. I played a little bit today. I played a little bit earlier on this week, and then just kind of realized why I stopped playing the game because it's one of those. It's one of those games. It's one of those free-to-play games where you're either going to be spending a lot of time sort of just grinding and grinding for whatever you need to get booster packs, and then you don't even get the card you want, and then you realize, oh right, they want you to spend money on this free-to-play game to get what you want. Got it. Okay, I'll stop playing this game now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like really outside of my usual streaming stuff, like doing playing Prince of Persia again, doing a no mistakes type of challenge thing. I don't know, it's weird, but that's it really. Yeah.
Do you ever think about trying out some emulators and playing some older games? I know you missed out on a lot of good Game Boy games.
I don't like emulating games I don't have. It's your decision if you want to do that, but it doesn't feel right. Like, 'cause, I mean, it is illegal technically,
Yeah.
and it just doesn't sit right with me. I'll be honest. If I don't have the physical copy, then I refuse. I won't play a game if I don't actually have it. I get that sometimes you can't play a game. Like, there are a lot of games in America that just don't get released in the UK, and unless you have like an American console, you can't play that game. Like, it's impossible unless you emulate it. I can understand things like that, but I don't know. It's just the there's a word for it, but I can't think of it right now. It's the principle. There you go. It's the principle of the thing. I don't know. I just like I like feeling legit. If I'm going to play on an emulator, I'd like to have the at least have the disc somewhere or whatever. But yeah, that's just me. So
See, with emulators for me, when I was younger, I used to try and play a lot of different games. Obviously, I couldn't afford to go out and buy older consoles and the games for them. Because when I wanted to play all them, that's when retro games were like really, really expensive. Because everybody was wanting them. Nowadays, the only time I ever really use emulators is for Pokemon. With most of the Pokemon games, I already own them anyway.
Yep.
So
yeah. Plus,
they've got my
Nintendo
money.
has kind of taken ROMs down. So
Well, oh, luckily I've still got all my old Pokemon ROMs from years ago. So,
but yeah, like now you can't Nintendo's hammered down, and yeah, you can't download their ROMs no more.
well, which is fair enough. Like the only reason I prefer playing Pokemon games on the emulator is because you can speed it up. Because grinding like when you were younger, like when you were doing grinding, it wasn't such a ball ache as it is
You
now.
had more time when you were a kid.
Yeah, like I could say like, all right, I've got an hour to play a bit of Pokemon. Let's play some Pokemon. It's like, oh, I've got a bit of grinding to do. Right, okay. After half an hour and you've only gotten like one Pokemon up one level, and it's just like, oh, that just took so long.
Yep.
And it's like, I want to have
Why do you
that speed up
think
button.
I'm playing Digimon World 2003 on emulator? I wouldn't be playing it otherwise, I can tell you that.
Is that
It's
very
literally
grind
the only
heavy?
reason. Yeah, to say the least. To say the least. I've already done it once for the channel years ago. I'm not doing it again unless I'm allowed to speed it up. Not got the time or the patience to deal with that shit again. It's bad. It's really bad.
Is the game good though?
Not really. It's on the lower half of Digimon games, if you ask me.
Yeah.
See, for
It's not
Digimon, it
like the
was
worst game I've played, but it's just kind of eh. I don't know. There are some okay parts in it. Like I like the card battling, but like Digimon battling is okay, but I don't like it. It's not great. Could be better. Could be worse.
See, for me, when it comes to Digimon games, the only one I ever really played was Digimon World on the PS1.
The
Which,
best one.
yeah, which I really enjoyed and I've wanted to rebuy, but it's stupidly expensive. It might have went down in price by now. The last time I looked a few years back, it was like 20 odd quid.
Probably about that still, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah. Unless you're lucky to, I suppose, bid it for something. I suppose,
Yeah,
but yeah.
like, I'm not. Like, one, I don't have the time, and two, I'm just not good enough at eBay sniping and all that kind of stuff to actually get good deals.
Yeah.
For me, if there's a game that I really want, and say it's 20 quid, and I believe that it's probably worth 20, and that's what the going rate is, I don't mind paying the going rate. I don't want to be ripped off, but I don't mind paying the average price. Like to save myself some time. Like you could spend 12 hours, like real time, trying to get 6 quid off. And you really think of it, is it really worth it?
No.
Sometimes you can get good deals, but that's why I prefer charity shops. Try to get some bargains.
Yeah.
Because you just...
Fortunately, we don't have good stuff in our charity shops.
I don't in mine anymore. They're kind of clamping down on what they're actually taking in, which I think is a bit crazy. Like, obviously, no charity shops take VHSs anymore, which is fair. Like, nobody will want them. But they're like declining a lot of games. From what I understand, it's because they can't be sure if they work, and like they don't know how much they go for. Like, they could have a ton of games in their shop for years, just years and years, that just don't sell because they're trying to get £1 for Madden 04 on the PS2. Right.
Yep.
You're not going to get that, but it's not worth selling for anything less.
No.
And this is why, like, I feel like a lot of charity shops, they just don't take games in anymore, period. The only games I see in charity shops now are those Madden 04s because they've still got them from years and years and years ago, and they just can't get rid of them. But if you're into like antique sport games, check out your local charity shops. You'll find loads.
Yep. That's all I see nowadays.
I can't remember the last time I bought a game out of a charity shop. I can't remember.
It's been quite a while.
Because I have had some good deals. I managed to get Haunting Ground once for £1.
Yeah, that was a good find.
I can't remember what it's called. I don't think I've got it anymore, but something dark Chronicle or something like that for £1. Apparently that was a very good find as well.
Oh, was it Dark Cloud or something, was it?
Dark Cloud, yes, that was it.
Not a good find as well.
Yeah. My dad picked up 2 copies of Resident Evil 2, Silent Hill 1, Metal Gear Solid 1, and a couple other like just kind of decent PS1 games that will go for a few quid.
Yeah.
I'm really annoyed with my dad because he haggled.
Alright.
They were all going for £1 each. And I think he got about 7 or 8 games, and he managed to get them down. It's just taking a £5 for the lot. I'm like, are you kidding? Like that Metal Gear Solid 1 will go for at least a tenner on its own.
Yep. So I'd say.
But I mean, he just gave them all to me because he knew I would have wanted to get them anyway. But I just felt really bad that he's haggling with charity shops. It's terrible. So I can understand if it's like, you know, you go into one of those retro game shops, like you do see them pop up every now and then.
Yeah.
And they always seem to charge like a few quid more than you could get it for online. And their reasoning is, oh well, you're getting it now, or we're saving you the hassle of waiting for it to come, like get delivered to you.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, you're charging me. Like they had a Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence, which I think goes, well, it used to go for about 70 quid.
It's pretty crazy.
The last time I was in that shop and I saw it in there, £100 they wanted.
Oh, for God's sake.
Do you think it's even that good?
I don't know. I mean, like, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater's good. I don't know about the Subsistence one, however how we call it. I don't know if there's much difference.
Try and think of the best game you've ever played. Can you warrant £100 for it?
Nah. Crazy. Pretty ridiculous.
One game. Crazy. I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know how we ended up getting on to talking about stupid charity shop games. We'll move on to you, Foot. What have you been playing over the past couple of weeks?
I started 2 new FPSs on the PS4, and I also replayed a game on the PS3. So we'll start off with the FPSs. So I got the Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remaster, which is a remaster of, I would probably say, my favourite Call of Duty game, Call of Duty 4. I mean, I like the Modern Warfare games in general, but just something about 4 and I just find it like the most satisfying to play, the best locations and stuff.
The story was really good. They really tried.
Yeah, I mean, I like the characters of like Captain Price and Macmillan and stuff. They're really, really good. That Scottish guy Macmillan, he was really funny. Just like randomly jumps out at a guy. Oi, Susie! Oh, just crazy. But I love the part as well when you're in the ship and like an explosion goes off the ship, like starts to sink. The water like obviously pours in, like the screen's at a tilt, so it kind of like feels like you're on the ship. I really like that. I think it's a great little feature in my opinion. It's probably my favourite part of the game, I would say. But I think I'm on the last couple of missions, and yeah, really enjoying it. I hadn't played Call of Duty 4 for many, many years, so definitely glad to play through it again. And happy to say it's just as good as I remember it. Really, really good game.
Call of Duty 4, that was the one. I think it's one of the most iconic scenes in Call of Duty games. When you crash in your helicopter and you kind of like start walking back to the city and it gets nuked.
Oh yeah, that's a great part.
That was really, really awesome. Well, obviously it's terrible, but
yep, yeah.
You just don't really get that kind of emotional feeling in first-person shooters like ever.
Nah.
Like, because your character's always an unspoken hero.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think he plays Soap McTavish most of the time, but he doesn't talk in that game. So
No.
he doesn't talk into the later Modern Warfare game. But yeah, they don't make Call of Duty games like that anymore, in my opinion. Like just I don't know, just they're quite stale nowadays. I think there's mostly just focus on like online now.
That's
So
what it is, and they just pan out a single player and just say, "Oh well, you bought it for the single player. This is what you're gonna get," and it's like a 6 hour snooze fest.
yep, pretty much. And that seems to be the direction they're going. And like I say, Black Ops 4 doesn't even have a single player now, does it?
Nope, it has a battle royale mode instead.
Tell you what they do with a battle royale mode.
Something that nobody will want to play in about 4 years' time when the next fad comes out.
Pretty much.
Sound like an old man, but it's really true.
Yep. Pathetic, isn't it?
It's one of those things that's going to make a lot of money now, but in a few years, no one's really going to care.
Yep. Sad. So sad.
Yep. Isn't there that weird PlayStation 3 game, whatever it was called, the one that you could have like 120 players playing at once? Mag?
Oh, Mag.
That nobody bought it though.
God, what a fail.
I don't think I ever played that.
Did they not get a second game as well?
Oh, did it?
I don't know. I've got like a rough like feeling it got a second game, but maybe not.
I don't remember that. I remember you were desperate to buy Lair though.
Oh, that garbage game. The one with motion controls but it doesn't work properly.
Yep.
I don't think I'll ever get that game, to be honest. I've had too many bad things. I'll put myself through that.
Was that an RTS Lair?
I don't know, I think so. Something weird, we have to use motion controls and just apparently don't work at all, so.
Well, if you feel like the motion controls in the first Ratchet and Clank game on the PS3 was kind of bad.
Yeah.
When you had to, you control Clank with the controller, like just tilting it, and it was just really bad.
Yep.
Oh no.
And like, I don't know, I still consider that my favourite Ratchet and Clank game, even though it's got some annoying like motion control things, but absolutely love that game still.
I haven't played it yet, so
It's a good game. Apart from that, it is a good game. Uncharted 1 had kind of crappy motion controls as well. Like, it was forced. You had to tilt the controller back to throw grenades.
Yeah, I'm glad they fixed that in the remaster.
That was really bad.
Yep.
They must have been told or something like, just make room for it. We've spent loads of money in this stupid motion control thing. We really want it to be like a big selling point. Use it somehow. And I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I don't think many people like motion controls, do they?
It's kind of like that weird touchpad on the PS4. Now, obviously, I've not played many PS4 games, but how many of them actually implement it that well?
Not many.
The best one I can think is Until Dawn, when you swipe it to swipe your phone.
Yeah, that's good.
It's like
What things like that's alright. Yeah. Like some games that you press that to like bring up a map, that's alright. But when you have to do like stupid things like in game, like I think Killzone Shadowball had some annoying things. We have to like shoot a rope or something using it or something. It was just really like awkward and.
Oh, Shadowfall. You still don't recommend that?
Nope. Really disappointing considering I liked Killzone 2 and 3.
Yeah, you beat Killzone 2 on hard mode. I can't believe that.
Took a lot of patience. I don't think I would have the patience to do it now though. I think it was at a time I didn't like have too many PS3 games, so I was trying to get like the most out of them. So, yeah. It was a great game, so it helped. So we'll go into the other game I played. Was Titanfall 2.
Okay.
I don't know what I thought this was like an online only game, but apparently it's got a campaign. So when I heard that and I seen it for £6, I just decided to give it a shot. I mean the campaign's only like 5 or 6 hours long, but it's so bumming fun. Like the gameplay is really really good. Obviously like you go in like Titans and things. You've got all these different like loadouts, got like rocket launchers, machine guns, Gatling guns, that kind of thing. And it's just a great game. Like I said, the combat's really, really satisfying. I love the dialogue between your character and the Titan. He's called BT.
What, like
And
from Arsenal Fan TV, DT?
I don't know. Just like BT with like a lot of numbers after it. I can't remember the exact numbers, but the dialogue between you and this Titan is really, really entertaining. And I love how like you run at walls and things. So it's kind of like later Call of Duty games, I guess. But in my opinion, it just works really, really well. In my opinion, great like kind of like up in like space and that kind of stuff. It just looks really, really cool. I really like it. I really recommend Titanfall 2. It's really cheap nowadays. Apparently it's good online, but I don't have PlayStation Plus, so I'm not getting it just for that, you know?
Yeah. Titanfall was one of those games, like when it first came out, like the first one, everyone was really raving about it, and I didn't see the appeal.
Okay.
Just wasn't something for me. I don't know if Titanfall 1 had a single player. Maybe I'll try the second one if I can ever get around to it. I don't have it, but I might end up someday picking it up.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. I think it's really, really good.
It's kind of like that thing with Siege. Like, I don't think that had a single player, did it?
Probably not. Nah, I don't think so.
Slow-paced garbage for me.
Yep.
So,
yeah, pretty much.
Because a lot of people hated Hitman Absolution because you could just go guns blazing and it would be fine. But
yeah,
I like that aspect of it.
Yeah, you can just play the way you feel like, really.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I will want to take it stealthily and try and do everything in the best way possible. Sometimes it's just like, I can't be arsed, and just smack everyone.
Yeah, why not? Part of the fun, really. But imagine if like in Hitman games, if you got detected, that was like you had to restart the level or something. Oh. I mean, some people would probably like it.
Yeah, like that's exactly what some people like, but this stealth genre in itself, or maybe I should say subgenre, so niche.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm surprised Hitman became as popular as it did.
I know.
Because like Splinter Cell as well, very, very niche games.
Yep.
I remember Splinter Cell 1, I don't know if you ever played it, the training, which was really tough. What I can remember anyway, it was probably dead easy. That was like one of those games when I was a kid. The same with Driver 1, I was like, I struggled to get past the first level.
That was horrible.
You try to get out of that car park.
Who thought that was a good idea?
It's impossible.
Yep.
Oh god. The only other first level that was tough that I can remember, only because you Let's played it, and that was Path of Neo.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Because it took like 2 hours to get past the tutorial.
I'm so bored. Yep.
I miss the Let's Play curse. That was funny. Yeah, your last game. Sorry, I was.
Oh, I think my internet restarted there. I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let off for like 5 seconds or something.
Your internet just likes to banter you all the time.
Yeah, I've heard what you said something about. You started about missing maiden Let's Plays wrong and then it cut off.
Oh yeah, I was just saying that I missed the Let's Play curse that you seem to have.
Oh yeah, you take some of my favourite games and make them horrible for the Let's Play. I just had really bad luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I'll mention the PS3 game that I completed again. So I've not played this for quite a few years, so I decided to go back and play it because I really, really enjoyed the first one. I completed that 3 times actually. Ooh. So I wanted to give this one another shot, and again, just as good as I remember it, and that is Dead Space 2. Which, if you played Dead Space 1, it's kind of similar, you know, fighting necromorphs by, you know, blowing off their limbs and things. Obviously, really like dark, atmospheric, like location and stuff. Really, really good stuff in my opinion. I like how like Isaac shows character in this because like in the first game he's kind of like a silent protagonist. I think he only shows like emotion like once or something in the whole game. So yeah, I did like how they gave him a character. Some people like him as a silent character, but I don't know. I prefer when you're playing as a main character. I prefer them to like talk and stuff. It kind of gets you more invested in the character. So I like him. I like him in this game. I like Ellie. I think she's a good character as well. And Strauss, who's just like this like crazy guy. He's like hearing voices and things. So yeah, he's really out there. So you don't really know what to expect from him. But really good character in my opinion. Again, good weapons like the plasma cutter, the pulse rifle, and like the line gun, which is pretty good as well. Again, I don't like the flamethrower. I don't think I've played many games where the flamethrower is really good 'cause you have to get really close, and obviously the enemies don't die straight away, so you're probably going to end up taking a hit in the meantime. So I don't really like that. Favorite part in the game is probably like there's this like nursery area, and there's always like baby aliens that come after you and like they explode. Really bloody creepy. Because like in the background you hear like children's like nursery rhymes and stuff. It's really creepy. But I love that part. Really woman good. So yeah, I would say Dead Space 2, absolutely amazing game. Again, just as good as I remember it, if not more. I might even say I prefer this to the first game now. To be honest, both quite really similar, but both really enjoyable. So yeah, Dead Space 2, amazing game, and happy to have replayed it.
Awesome. Dead Space 2, I need to get to it at some point.
Yeah.
As much as Dead Space 1 freaked me the hell out and it took me ages to beat it,
Yep.
I did really enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it's funny that you mention flamethrowers, but most games that have flamethrowers, they are pitiful.
Yep.
Wasn't there a game, like, this might have been years ago that we talked about this, but you were playing a game where the flamethrowers range was so bad?
That could be a lot of games.
It could be. I just specifically remember, I think we were chatting on Skype one night and you were talking about like a flamethrower and the range on it was just really terrible that you're going to take a few hits just to kill something.
Yep. I kind of have a vague memory of that, but I can't remember what game it was.
Oh, God. It could be anything. Like, flamethrowers in games usually... It's like the coolest weapon, so they make it the suckiest.
Pretty much. Yeah,
Might
it's
as well.
too risky.
Yeah, might as well just be a melee weapon.
Might as well.
So that is the what you playing segment. Obviously, I've only really been playing one thing, which I will talk about in a little bit. But we will move on to the J Show, as I've gotten written down. So what is the new thing that you want to be taking over from the 5 interesting facts?
Well, no, it's not really taking over. It's
No?
more of like, it's more like this is just kind of like a filler, and then I might try something else. So nothing's really been confirmed at the moment. So since I've been trying to get back into Yu-Gi-Oh somewhat, and since it's the month of October, I figured I would choose some unsettling facts about the series.
Okay.
So I've got 20 here, but I'm only going to choose 5 unsettling facts. So basically, this is going to be 5 unsettling facts about the Yu-Gi-Oh series you may or may not know, essentially. Starting with number 5. So I think most of you guys probably have at least seen like the anime in some shape or form, right?
Yeah.
In some shape or form, yeah. So you guys are like well aware of the Shadow Realm, right?
Oh yeah.
For the most part. Yeah, yeah. Of course, for those of you who don't know, Shadow Realm and Yu-Gi-Oh is essentially what they call hell. Essentially. Where it's hell in terms of like a mind game where people who get sent there normally experience disturbing things. In most cases, they get the experience of dying over and over again in different situations. Depending on like the person, they may experience different things. Um, and this gets used quite a lot throughout the early times of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like if anyone watched Duelist Kingdom, you may know that like the Yami Yugi or the Pharaoh or whatever you want to call him, the other Yugi that's not Yugi, basically had the power to send people to the Shadow Realm. And he would do that. The first episode was pretty much him sending Kaiba to the Shadow Realm, and that was it. Well, in the anime, they toned it down. In the anime, they basically sent his quote unquote evil side to the Shadow Realm, but the good side was left. Quote unquote good, because Kaiba's still a dick, really, but I guess he's less of a dick. I don't know.
The Four Kids dub, they do tone it down a hell of a lot.
Well, they had to.
If you watched like the original Japanese
very
one,
dark.
yeah, there's lots of mentions of demons and whatnot, and the normal one.
I'll maybe mention that in a bit, but we'll get to that. But yeah, so that's number one, talking about the Shadow Realm. This one is this is more towards Kaiba himself, Seto Kaiba. I like how this one just says Seto Kaiba is a sociopath, and I mean honestly he is pretty much. But if anyone's only watched the anime, you might just know Kaiba as this kind of obnoxious dick, rich boy type of guy, who's always pretty much second behind Yugi. He's Yugi's rival essentially. He kind of redeemed himself, I suppose, as episodes go by, but he was just kind of like this rich boy who's really a dick and whatnot. I mean, he fucking assaulted Yugi's grandfather in the first episode and stole his blue eyes and ripped it apart. Like, who does that? Don't hurt the elderly, all right? Don't attack the elderly. It's not right. But have you guys heard of the notorious Season 0 of Yu-Gi-Oh?
Oh.
I've heard of it. I've not watched it.
Yeah, me neither. I only know bits of it, but I guess if anyone doesn't want to know about it, then don't listen to this part. I'm only going to talk a little bit about some disturbing things that happened in Season 0. So Season 0, there's a reason why it didn't exist originally. It's basically, think of it like banned episodes, like anime. Like Pokemon had quite a few banned episodes, like ones with guns and things like that. You can't have guns in a kid's anime. Like, what the hell is this all about? It's essentially... Season 0 is essentially more true to the original source material in Japan, and you could see why it wasn't there. It's very unsettling. Basically, they do things differently than how the anime goes. So apparently, Kaiba assaults Yugi outside of the school and like takes his grandfather's blue eyes or something like that. And then I think Yami Yugi challenges him to a duel. He loses. I think he gets like punished or something, like for a shadow game or somewhat. And I guess he survives. I don't know. But basically later on what happens is that Kaiba creates this theme park known as, where is it? Def T. Def T is essentially a virtual reality version of the shadow games that Kaiba created, rigged in his favor, and made up of the most disturbing challenges you could ever think of in a human mind. And this is all coming up from Kaiba's mind. So he created this all himself. And the players are actually capable of dying in this as well as losing limbs or getting electrocuted. So that's fun. Def T has 5 levels, each which get more difficulty, and spoiler alert, it pretty much leads up to Yugi fighting Kaiba and Yugi winning, pretty much. So yeah, so that's the thing. Kaiba created this death trap essentially to basically, I mean, you read it here, it says he created this death trap to kill Yugi Moto. I am not making this up. This is a thing. This is Season 0. So this didn't originally happen, but they kind of made it happen. So there you go. There you go. There is an anime version of it. I've not seen it, but
What's
it does
that?
exist. I
Kyberland?
don't think it's dark. Yes, I believe so. He
Yeah.
lets you believe it to be Kyberland, but it's actually not. It's a trap. But yeah, he invites Yugi and the friends, and basically, pretends to be all goody goody, and is actually not and stuff. So yeah, so that's the thing. All right, so moving on to the next one. I think we're on number 3. Talking a little bit about some creepy cards, actually. Well, there are a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and honestly, there's more being created and stuff. But there are like certain cards that I believe weren't like used in the anime, because they were just like either too like religious cultist type of thing, or it's just like, look, this is too disturbing, we can't have this type of thing. Sometimes they're in game, sometimes they're just not at all, they're just like there, I guess. But we've got one card here, which, I mean, you could look at this and you could be like, what am I looking at here? I don't actually quite understand what's going on here. But it's this card called the Gimmick Puppet Shadow Feeler. I don't even know if I've even heard of this card, to be honest.
I have not heard of that either.
Right. So this card shows 2 puppets on all fours and facing each other with their heads fused together into another half torso with arms. It looks pretty fucked up, honestly. You would have to look at it really to kind of really get an idea of what it is. So if anyone's interested and they want to look at that, you go Google it. I'm sure you can find it. But
Gimmick Puppet Shadow Feeler. What the hell is that?
I don't know.
It's like a reverse human centipede.
Yeah. No, that's one way of it, I suppose. I don't know. It's pretty creepy. But we also have another one here, called the Gimmick Puppet Dreary Doll, which was originally a doll made from the likeness of a child, covered in bloody bandages and sitting in a coffin. Of course, it was turned down for later releases. So, yeah, very horror-y cultist type of thing. And I mean, there's a lot more. There is a lot more. If anyone watches like the original like Japanese and stuff, they changed a lot of the names. There are a lot of like religious symbols and cultists and different things like that. Like I think Crush Card was called something like sudden death thing, and it's like, oh, we can't say death, so we just call it Crush Card instead. So there are a lot of censorship in Japan and over here and stuff. So yeah. And I like how it says at the bottom of this fact, it's unclear what dark corner of the human mind these cards came from, but needless to say, most were redesigned for Japan, for the releases Japan, or beyond Japan, I should say. So I just like the fact that it says that, so it's kind of funny. All right, so I believe this is number 4. Face Parasite. I know this card. If anyone knows of Weevil Underwood, the Bug Boy, he uses this card. I think it's called actually... Yeah, Parasite
Yep.
is the actual name of the card. It basically like affects your deck and like turns your cards into insects and stuff. But the original card, because I think the new card was changed. The original card shows Parasite actually coming out of someone's face. Like it's actually like bursting out of its face and stuff, and it's pretty creepy. It doesn't look like that in what we used to. I think it's just the parasite and that's it. But in the original, it's actually like a face, an actual face, and the things coming out of it. So it's pretty creepy. Now in the original anime, well, in the American anime and whatnot, we don't really see it to be too creepy or as creepy. But in the Japanese anime, when Weevil uses it on Joey, he then had actual insect limbs coming out of his own body, apparently. And I'm talking Joey, not like the card. I'm talking about when the parasite happened. Like apparently he had actual like fucking insect shit coming out of his body. That just sounds creepy. I don't actually know what it looks like, but that just sounds kind of creepy. So there you go. There seems to be a lot of parasite-related stuff in the Japanese version for some reason. But there you go. But Yeah, pretty creepy enough just looking at it. So, all right, so that's number four. So number five, this was kind of a toss up. I've actually got like two here, but I'll just mention the one that I was going to go for. In the, I think it's the Battle City season, which is season two. My basically this is a shadow game to Yami Merrick, and you know what happens? You get sent to the Shadow Realm. Well, again, in the releases that we know, she loses her memory. But in the original transcript, basically she was trapped in an hourglass. I mean, they showed this anyway in the anime. Like she is trapped in an hourglass and the sand's filling up, but they didn't actually show this. But apparently in the original transcript, when she lost the doll, she would just straight up die. Like they just killed the character off. So you can understand why she didn't die in the anime because yeah, censorship and yeah, kids show. So yeah, so she didn't die, but she did in the original transcript. So yay for not killing, I guess. And a quick honorable mention. I do have one more fact. Quick honorable mention. There's a card known as Yubel. Apparently, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I don't watch Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I don't really care. But apparently, its design. Well, design looks creepy. If you're very curious, just look up Yubel. I don't know which Yubel though, because there's like multiples. It's Yubel something. You'll see it. It looks like a crossover between like Merrick and Bakura, like Yami Merrick and Yami Bakura.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, it has the ability to like send people, like I don't know, send people in the Shadow Realm or something. It's described as Jaden's favorite card when he was a kid. But every time he would use it, people would suffer seizures and fall into comas. So that's not creepy at all. He eventually stopped using it, but yeah, apparently that's a thing. I don't know, but yeah, it's pretty much that's what it described. It kind of looks female, but apparently it has no gender. And its voice tends to kind of change from female to male, so it clearly doesn't know what the fuck it is, to be honest. You know, make stuff up. But there you go. But yeah, this is an honorable mention as a creepy looking card. I've never really heard of it, so I have no ties. But yeah, anyway, that's going to be my creepy, unsettling Yu-Gi-Oh facts. There are more, but those are the ones I chose. So
That's actually really, really interesting. For I don't know, like since it's October and all that, we do all the. Well, we've not really done any Halloween stuff. Maybe next time, talk about some scary games or whatever.
Yay.
Only really Fit's gonna give us much insight on that, but
I think he's the only one because I don't play scary games. So
I don't know. You could maybe try and find 5 creepy. Like if you remember the old Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like the kind of white, cream, yellowy monsters. The ones that don't have effects. Let's try and find some creepy card text on them. Because there's a lot of really weird ones that I fucking recall.
Man, you should see the original descriptions to some Pokemon. There are actually some straight up like Pokemons where they say like they just fucking like send them to a black hole, or they like say it straight up swallow them. Like there are some original creepy descriptions of Pokemon. You'd be surprised.
Well, hasn't it been confirmed that Gengar is a dead Clefable or something?
Well, I don't think it's been confirmed. People are just speculating because they literally look alike. I don't think it's been confirmed though.
Yeah.
It's speculation. I mean, I can see it.
Yep.
You know, they do look alike. So
yeah. Exact same shape.
Yeah. It's very possible.
I don't know, maybe that's something to consider for next time. Not sure. But anyway, that was really interesting. I'm glad you brought some of that up. Because Yu-Gi-Oh was awesome, to be honest. Well, it used to be. I don't know how great it is now. I've not really kept up with all the current stuff, but
yeah, I'll stick to the original.
I watched one episode of Zexal, and I'm like, what is going on? What are they talking about? What are these number
Mate.
cards?
Mate, I hear 5D is all about dueling on motorbikes. How does that even work? I
Jeez.
don't
That's
even know.
very dangerous. I'll say that much.
Oh man.
I don't know. Like, there's all this weird stuff with like pendulum summoning and all that. I'm like, whoa, too much. Don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I've kind of gotten the grips of synchro summoning, so
hmm
oh, who knows. We will move on to the indie game insanity, or indie game of the week that we're going to be talking about. I've been discussing a few decent ones, well, good ones that I've played. Now I'm going to go with one that this is the only game I've played like in the last 2 weeks, other than a little bit of Pokemon. But this game is called Poi, P-O-I, and it's a platformer. Yeah, I'm just going to go with a platformer slash collectathon. That's pretty much all that it is. The game itself is actually pretty decent. You play as this little boy Poi, or I think he's called Poi, but you can also be this Giro character. You can swap out. There's no real benefits to being one or the other. They play the exact same from what I'm aware. So it's like, what was the point? Like, maybe have one that's a little bit quicker, or maybe have one that's a little bit better at jumping. You know, just to give you a reason to choose either one, because it doesn't serve any difference. You get to explore about 5 different worlds. They're all pretty... they're okay. And your objective is you've got to collect these little medallions, like golden medallions. And you get them from doing, like, objectives within the map. So before you start it up, it'll say, alright, this is the medallion you want to go for. You get this one for turning on the lights. So when you start off the level, everything's really dark and you can't see it. It's frustrating. You get other stuff for collecting 100 coins and then trading them with a stupid raccoon that gives you a medallion for 100 coins. It's like, that was a bit boring. The worlds themselves are all interesting enough. You get a forest level, you get a kind of a volcano level. There's a kind of little small ice level. It's not a proper ice level, but it's kind of like a side level. You can still earn a couple more medallions, but it's not like one of the main worlds. The worst one is the dark one, where you're kind of like underground or something. It's the reason it is it's just pretty hard. The game's difficulty doesn't come from like conventional difficulty methods. It comes from poor control and poor camera. The camera is an absolute nightmare to control at times. It does whatever the hell it wants. Does some stupid stuff like, if anyone remembers Bubsy 3D, when you jump, the camera like looks down.
Oh yeah.
It does that kind of stuff, but it half-heartedly does it. So you're in this like weird dimension of like you don't really know where you're landing. The enemies themselves, the way that you can beat them is by rolling into them, which I think is a 50-50. You're either going to take a hit off of doing that, or you're actually going to hit them. It doesn't make any difference to me. The main way to beat enemies is by jumping on their heads. Some take a couple more hits than others. You get... the enemies are crap. You've got like snakes and moles, little things that run about with helmets on their head, bats, and, you know, just kind of like little crappy, no inspiration sort of enemies. Like, there's nothing there. The bosses are pretty much all the same. You get a big mole, you get a big guy with a helmet on its head, you know, just kind of like crap that no one's interested in. A big octopus as well you get to fight. That was boring. Overall, the game itself is a decent little play. You can beat it in probably about 6 or 7 hours, like fully, like collect everything. There's a lot to collect as well. There's 101 medallions in the game, and you need, I think, 60 to take on the final boss, which is easy, really, really easy. So, Poi, I think its price right now, I can actually look it up just to let you know. I managed to pick it up on sale for a couple of quid. It's going to cost you $7.99 to get this game. I do not recommend it at that price. I don't think there's enough gameplay in it to warrant that. Anything else I can say? The graphics are like PS2-esque, and I'd say that's probably where the game belongs. Like, that's indie games can come in all sorts of different ways. Where you can say like, oh yeah, that game's the look of that game is from this generation or this console, whatever. I'd say PS2, maybe a good PS1. It's at £8. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you can see it for about 3 or 4, it might be up your street. It's a decent little platformer. It does have some fun elements. There's little to no story. Like an old man takes you on an adventure on a stupid flying boat. Seriously, that's it. So if anyone is interested in Poi, you could probably pick it up on the Xbox One Marketplace, the PlayStation 4, or Steam. I think you can get it for Wii U as well, if I recall. But yeah, it's a decent little play, not too challenging, but it could do with a little bit more challenge, but in different ways. Like the camera and the control, that's not good challenge. So yeah, that is a Poi as my indie game insanity or indie game of the week. So any of you guys think you'd be interested in Poi or even heard of it?
Maybe if it was at a decent price, I'd maybe give it a go. Actually,
maybe if it was cheap, I don't know.
I would say like, it is a decent little platformer. There's apart from a couple of like, annoying things, it's not bad by any stretch, but it's not something you're going to want to play after you beat it. It does have a Game Plus mode, which you can play through it, and the only thing it does is you keep all your abilities, which, you know, you get a shovel to dig things, you get a telescope, and, you know, just kind of pointless crap. But what it does is you only get one bit of health, and honestly, you're gonna take hits just because it's hard to avoid some stuff. Like the moles, they just kind of like burrow underground and they just jump up at you.
So this is 3D, right?
Yeah, it's a 3D platformer.
Okay.
As I said, maybe about PS2 standard for like what it can offer. Well, there's definitely better PS2 platformers out there. Definitely better looking PS2 platformers, but it's alright. If you can get it cheap enough, it's not too bad. So we're going to move on to the bag of shit of the week. Josh really wanted to do this, but he's not here right now, so we're going to have to wait for next time before we can get Josh to do it. I've asked Foot to take it on this week. So what did you manage to think of?
It's funny how you mentioned Let's Plays before, because I Let's Played this game.
Oh god.
I already said. And it is Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Oh,
PS4.
really?
Yes. That game. Yeah, I had a really bad time with this game. I really did. Everything went wrong. There's like skips in the dialogue, there's like glitches, like sound issues, and like, I don't know, characters like flashing and stuff, like the animations and that. It was just yes, it really was. I think I played it on the PS2, so maybe it's like an issue with like playback. And I maybe could have played it on an actual PS1 console, but yeah, it was just a mess. You know, I mean, one thing I'll say about the game is like the locations and that are pretty decent. I mean, they're quite, you know, resemble the movie basically. So I'll give it props for that. The dialogue was alright, in my opinion. Doors open, let's go. The door's open, let's go. Door's open, let's go.
Notorious.
Yep. But I don't know, the dialogue was quite funny. I'd say the game as well was really bombing hard. I'd died like so many times in this game. I did feel like the game was kind of like lacking in like health supplies and stuff. So yeah, I mean, you can save the game at any point, so that was alright, I guess. I kind of needed that kind of feature because I say it's pretty difficult. A lot of the times it's kind of like trial and error. You know, beginner's traps all over the place. Like the trap. I mean, like some areas just like go into an area like tons of enemies. You have no idea like what to expect. So, you know, if you don't know enemies are there, you know, you're just gonna get wrecked. To be honest. So yeah, very difficult. And I would say it started off decently when you're in like the Trade Federation like ship and stuff, and the Gardens of Feed. It was all right, I guess. The tanks were quite difficult. And the Gardens of Feed. But the level I hated was that bloody, was it Mos Espa?
Yep.
You have to like, wander through this market trying to find stupid parts. I think it was the pod racer or something. Or
Yeah.
like, it's like a bloody maze. And then you go into these like shops and stuff, and then you get attacked by random people, and I can't remember like how many parts that like I like spent on that level, but I just kept getting lost and frustrated, and it was a shambles. It really, really was. So easily the worst level in the game. When you got to the final boss, like the build up to the final boss was really blooming difficult, really like precise platform and stuff. It's really blooming tough. But the final fight with Darth Maul was alright. I'll give it props for that. It was a decent fight. It wasn't too challenging, but yeah, it was epic enough. You know, I did enjoy it. Not worth playing for the whole game to get to that point, but yeah. Yeah, this game, in my opinion, bag of shit. In my opinion, they did improve it with Jedi Power Battles, which is also a PS1 game and based on the Episode 1. That was more like a hack and slash game. It was a lot more like faster paced like action stuff, better platforming, better levels, in my opinion, and like 5 different characters to choose from. So yeah, that was a good game. I really enjoyed that one. But Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, bag of shit, and yeah, don't recommend it at all.
I think you would much prefer what are these stupid games called? The Star Wars games on the Xbox original. Mine's drawn a complete blank.
What, Battlefront?
No. The ones that are made by BioWare.
Oh yeah. Oh crap. I can't remember what you call them.
I can't help you, I'm afraid.
My mind's drawn a complete blank. I can't believe this. I love these games as well. I can't remember, but
I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, you'll much prefer them. I think they're a little bit pricey, but they're really worth it. You've watched a lot of the Star Wars films now, so
yeah,
you kind of know what's going on. I think you would really enjoy those. If you can end up picking either of them up, I think you'll really enjoy it. They'll work on your 360, so...
Oh, that's good, yeah.
Oh, they should do at least. If they don't, well, blame me. But they work on mine. That's all I can say. Some 360s are a little bit iffy with a couple of Xbox original games.
Alright.
That's going to annoy me if I can't remember the title of these.
You might think of it by the end of the podcast.
Yeah, I'm going to try and work that out. But that is a bag of shit of the week. The Star Wars The Phantom Menace on the PS1. I did play it myself. I got quite far into it, but I got pissed off and stopped playing it.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh, so you played it as well?
Not really. I've only played a little bit of it. I've watched a Let's Play of it though, so I've seen other people playing it. It looks bad, so.
Yep.
Well, we're going to move on to Game of the Week. I've taken on the mantle for this one. And Foot, you might have played it. Jay, I don't think it's your kind of game. But this game got a lot of mixed reviews, but I think it's really good. It's a very unique sort of game. And I think it deserves a bit more love. And that is Stuntman Ignition.
Okay.
No, I've not played that one.
Right, so basically it's not a racing game, but you drive cars, and you are playing the role of a stuntman, given the name. What you're doing is you are the stuntman driver for films. So you're the one that does all the crazy stuff that happens in films. Near at the beginning of the game, it's kind of little simple stuff. You've just got to drive really fast through like slaloms, which is just like parking lot stuff. In the end, you end up going to, well, I say the end. At one part, you're working on like this disaster movie, and there's like a volcano. You've got to kind of like drive through all the lava really quickly. You've got to jump gaps. I think there's parts that you've got to like go on 2 wheels and stuff, just to make it look all really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun, and it is a very unique game. I've not seen anything like this where the idea of it is you've got to do stunts, and the game tells you what it wants you to do, and I think you can maybe miss out a couple of things. I've not played it in a few years, but I think it goes by grades, and it grades you on how you do. And you've got to keep doing well. I've never managed to beat it. It is a pretty hard game from what I remember, but I really do recommend it, and I think more people should give it a go, even if you're not going to be able to finish it, 'cause it's pretty difficult. It is a lot of fun, just, you know, there's all these set pieces, and there doesn't need to be an explanation for why there's a volcano exploding. You're the stuntman in a movie, you don't need to know about that. And it's just a lot of fun. And that's what I like about the game. Like, it doesn't take itself too seriously, there's nothing that it tries to like force down your throat and like make you do all this stupid stuff. You are a stuntman, and this is what people are asking you to do. It's really good. It's a linear game. There's no like open world sort of thing, which is good because I'm sick of open world games at the moment. There's too many of them. It's like, as good as they are, as I can't be bothered sinking 60 hours into every game I play.
Nah.
You know? So yeah, for me, the game of the week is Stuntman Ignition. You can get it on PS3, Xbox 360, and maybe Wii. I'm not sure. I don't know how it would work on the Wii. It'd be a pain in the arse.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Probably.
So that is a game that I heavily recommend. It's very cheap now, so no need to worry.
Yep.
I thought you might have played it before, Foot. I think I have talked to you about it before.
I think I've got the original on PS2, but I've not like played it much, so I think I'd like test it to make sure it was working, and that was it. So, but yeah, Stuntman Ignition, it looks really good. I've been meaning to get it at some point.
Well, if I don't know how much it goes for, but if it's less than a $5,
yeah, it must be a couple of pounds, I think.
yeah. If it's more than a $5, just buy 1 month of Xbox Gold, and you can get it for free next month.
Ah.
That's the only reason I brought it up, because I noticed that it was free next month, and I'm like, oh, well, I've already got it, but it was a good game.
Yeah.
But we are going to move on to the headline show of this week, and it's going to be games that need to be remade, get a remake, or just some sort of thing. Because we talked a lot last time about Crash and Spyro and their HD trilogies or whatever. So we thought it would be a good idea to talk about what other games should get that kind of treatment. I'm going to start with Foot. And what do you think, well, what game or series or whatever do you think needs to be remade?
Aye. So I was trying to go with something that's like not many people like seem to have played. And I could say like, you know, Resident Evil 3, that's my favourite game of all time, but chances are that's probably going to happen because they're remaking Resident Evil 2, so I think Resident Evil 3 will be like next on the list.
I have a feeling I know what you're going to go for.
Really?
Does it involve dinosaurs by any chance?
Surprisingly not.
Oh, right. I thought it might have been Dino Crisis.
That could happen as well, to be honest. You know, a lot of people have been talking about maybe like Capcom doing that, so I'd be all for that. But the one I've decided to go for is Haunting Ground on the PS2.
Ooh, interesting.
Already mentioned that today.
Yeah, funny that. But yeah, it's another one of those like obscure horror games. It didn't sell well. It's a Clock Tower spin-off. You know, a lot of people like Clock Tower. I don't think that sold very well either. So it's kind of on the same thing.
No, it didn't, from what I heard.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same lines as that. Like I said, it's a spin-off. Maybe they should have just called it Clock Tower 4, but I don't know. But yeah, Haunting Ground, absolutely amazing game in my opinion. Really, really like it. Very, very scary game. So if you don't like scary games, you're probably not going to like it. But I've said before, the thing I like about this game is you're really defenseless. The only way you can defend yourself is by using your dog to attack the enemies, and you just got to like run away and like hide under the bed.
Huey!
Yeah. Gotta love Fiona. Fiona's awesome. Great character. Even like psychos that chase you, they've all got like their own like little, you know, unique personalities and stuff. And like if they remade the game, they could like maybe go like more in depth into like the characters and things. I mean the characters are already good, so maybe could add something even more to that. Maybe I'm not real sure, but yeah, absolutely amazing game. I mean, for its time, like the facial animations and that are just absolutely tremendous, and there's no like loading time. So like, once you start the game, you just go like through doors and that. You don't like get a loading screen, which is like really cool. Like you play games like Resident Evil, like Code Veronica and stuff, and obviously you've still got the door opening sequences and that where the game loads. But yeah, Haunting Ground, you can just go straight through those doors, and you can like shut them behind you, like if you're getting chased, so the enemy like slows down a little bit and stuff. And it's just so many good things about this game, just absolutely tremendous. It really is. So yeah, for me, Haunting Ground, it deserves more recognition. It deserves a remake. Maybe it would do better now, maybe, because like there's quite a lot of horror games out now, like Evil Within and that are doing really well. So I don't know, maybe it would sell better now. Couldn't sell any worse than it did, I don't think. So yeah, in my opinion, Haunting Ground, love this game, and I would love to see it get a remake or a remaster.
I've only really played it a little bit, and it freaked me out because of getting chased by those big horrible things.
Yep.
But I do agree with you that it was very unique for its time.
Yeah.
There wasn't many survival horror games that you just cannot really defend yourself whatsoever.
Yep.
And yeah, I would actually be behind it getting remade, even though it might not be something I'd end up getting. I do think it's a game that does deserve more recognition than it got.
Yeah, definitely.
The fact that it goes for so much money now, that's an indication of how popular of a game it was in a certain community.
Yeah, oh god, yeah.
So, Jay, did you play much of Haunting Grounds?
Never played it at all.
It's your favourite.
I don't get out of it. I don't play horror games. Leave me alone.
So Jay, what about yourself? What games do you think need a remake, remaster, whatever?
I decided to at least first off, I may go for like 2 or 3, but I decided to go for something that I talk about sometimes, but it's not what you will probably expect. So don't think you guys have heard this game before. I think I might have mentioned this before, and I think Footloose might have said he's never heard of this game before. But this is a game by Square back in the day, and I believe it was released along with Final Fantasy VIII, I think it was, when it first came out. It's a PS1 game. And unfortunately, it kind of flew under the radar because of, Final Fantasy, I guess, is success and stuff, and people thought, oh, hey, it's Final Fantasy VIII. Oh, there's also this game. What's this all about? And yeah, like I said, it kind of just flew under the radar, and most people were just kind of like, okay, I guess it's kind of neat, I suppose. But I actually really liked it because I played the demo for it when I was younger, and it wasn't the demo that you got from Final Fantasy VIII. It was just a demo, just on a a typical demo disc. The classic ones, I do miss them. And yeah, it's weird. I can't get into Final Fantasy games that well, and then this came along, and I was like, I'll give this a try. And surprisingly, I just really enjoyed it. The game I've gone for is Brave Fencer Musashi. I don't think any of you guys have probably heard of it, have you?
Never heard of it, no.
No, yeah, exactly, and that's the problem. It's so obscure. It's one of those very underrated games because, like I said, just kind of got kicked to the curve. But I actually think it's really good. There are fans for it, but again, it's just not many people even know about it or have played it. And yeah, that game just has a lot of charm. I mean, you could say arguably the whole polygon type thing maybe have not aged well, but I mean, you could say that for Final Fantasy and other type of games where there are a lot of games with a lot of polygons and stuff. But long story short, you play this little boy called Musashi. Basically, he is the descendant of the samurai, the legendary samurai Musashi. he basically gets summoned into this world where they're basically like, so can you save our kingdom? Of course, they didn't think it would be a little boy. They thought it would be like a warrior, and ends up being a little boy. But yeah, you basically play as this very obnoxious, bratty samurai kid. But he's hilarious. He's really funny. And I mean, every time we insult someone, they insult him back. So it's just kind of funny. There's like random arguments and stuff that goes along. It's like, yes, your hero, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, you go around, and it's like an action adventure type of game. So it's not like RPG. It's not an RPG. It's an action adventure. You kind of level up, but not really. You have like a health bar and stuff. The combat's really simple. But you have two swords. You basically have Fusion and Lumina, and you can use Fusion to like absorb people's abilities. Like you can absorb an enemy's abilities, and like you can copy them. And you get different ones. You get like ones where you get the ability to shoot. So you have like a almost like a fake gun type of thing where you can start shooting. You can also absorb like these like spring plants that bounce around, and then Musashi can then bounce on his sword to like go over certain obstacles and stuff. It's kind of funny. And then you're like Lumina has like different various abilities. Like you get different elements like earth, fire, wind, and they can do different things like earthquakes and stuff like that. So it's really cool. It's a game that tries to take it seriously, but it's also very comedic. It's very funny. There's lots of jokes. Like the villagers in the castle, they're basically all their names are based off of food, which is actually quite funny. I don't know why. It's just what they are. They're literally all based on like food or cooking or chefs and different things like that. But, the game is just the music. The music is amazing. The game has, like I said, just a lot of charm. I love the voice acting is really good for an old PS1 game, in my opinion. But like I said, yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's lots of random jokes. I think like one of the bosses is literally just like a dance fight, like literally D&D. Like I'm not even kidding. You jump into a room and this person's like, yeah, I'm going to defeat you, and then suddenly like disco music starts playing and you realize it's a D&D fight, and you literally have to play as Musashi and jump on the different buttons to D&D, and it's like, no, you best me at D&D. So there's really stupid quirky stuff in the game, but that's all part of the charm. And also random zombies and stuff. Yeah, lots of weird things happen in that game. But yeah, I really wish it would get a remake, because it would, like, it's kind of hard to recreate some things, I feel. But like, it's such an underrated game, and I wish more people would know about it and play it, because it just has so much charm, in my opinion. And it's actually a good game. I do actually believe that. Could you find it nowadays? Probably not. So that's another reason. Like, if you get a remake, at least then you're more likely to get that than pick up a copy of the PS1, because it's a rare game. So it's really good. Other than that, I'll just briefly say Onimusha. I've said it before. I'd love to get it remade. Yeah. I like samurai games. It's a great series. And yes, I am aware of the HD remaster. It is not the same. It is not the same. I'm talking full graphic remake, like Ghost of Tsushima quality graphic. Because when I saw that game, I was like, man, an Onimusha game like that looking like that would be amazing. So the remaster doesn't count. I don't think Capcom would ever bother, I'll be honest. I mean, they do. I mean, you got like Resident Evil, but like, yeah, I don't think they care enough about Onimusha, I'll be honest. They more care about Devil May Cry and whatnot. But yeah, no, I don't see it happening, but I'd like to happen, Onimusha. Other than that, I think you guys probably know other stuff. You know, Croc would be great. I know no one really cares, but Croc would be great. Digimon would be great, but I know no one would actually, do it. But yeah, for the most part, number one, I'd go for Brave Fencer Musashi, because it's a very underrated, obscured game.
Well, something I'll need to keep an eye out for. I'll maybe look up some gameplay for it or something, just see what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
Dance Dance Revolution battle sounds very funny.
Yeah.
So kind of like
there's a lot of randoms.
So that stupid game on the PS1, Oh, what the hell was that called? I'm forgetting everything now. That game where you dance. That's helpful, I know.
Game when you dance.
Yeah.
Spice Worlds.
Which one?
The one that in Spyro 1, he quotes him. Where he's like, you gotta believe.
Papa the Rapper.
Yeah, Parappa the Rapper.
Oh, right, okay.
It's like that. I couldn't get into Parappa the Rapper. I didn't enjoy it that much.
I never played, honest.
And a lot of people liked it. If you can hear the dog in the background, sorry. She's just angry at stuff. A very angry dog, it seems. For me, there's only one series on the PS1 other than Resident Evil that I've really, really wanted to get into but just can't. And that is, I'll say probably the 4 PS1 games that it's got. It can't be that hard to make all 4 of them. But it's Tomb Raider.
Yay. That's a good choice.
I kind of missed out on Tomb Raider when I was younger. I had the first one, and I just couldn't really get into it for whatever reason. For years, I've always wanted to go back and play through them, but the one thing that's the big roadblock for me is just the control.
Yeah, I agree.
The tank controls at the time were fine, but now I just cannot for the life of me play games that have controls like that. It's one of those things that you get used to, and it'll be kind of like riding a bike. You'll just always be fine going back to do it. But for me, I just can't even begin to get used to it. It just feels so awkward and so strange. And the idea that you've got to do platforming and gunfights with controls like that is just... So, I think I've spoke to you about this. What I would like is if they remade, even if it might have just been the first 2, just remake the first 2 games on the new consoles and change the whole control layout and make it playable for like today's audience. I'd also say like put a feature in there to have the same control from back then in case you want the authentic feel of it. But I feel like if they ended up doing that and they gave it a whole new control pan, you know, because you've got 2 sticks now. Well, you might have had 2 sticks back then, but I don't think the sticks were ever really used for stuff like controlling cameras. It was like L1 and R1.
Yeah, I think so.
So like, bring that into it. Let the right stick, like you can look about the world like you can in just about every other game like that these days, and the left stick you can control the character. But if you want that authentic feel, you can change the control and say, yeah, I just want to use the shoulder buttons to use the camera and the directional buttons to control the character. But yeah, that'd be great. I think there's a lot of stuff in the original Tomb Raider that's really trolly, like a lot of crappy moments where the game just, like as you said before, for beginner traps.
Yeah.
Where it just tricks you. I think there was this one room where you get struck by lightning.
Oh yeah,
if I remember correctly. And it's just kind of like, oh man, what the hell?
Zeus doesn't like the Lara, I guess.
So for me, a game that I think it's very possible that it can be done. The original Tomb Raider games. Who is it that made them? Eidos?
Eidos, I think.
Yes.
Right. I don't think that company's around anymore, so I don't know who. Well, it must be Square that own the rights to Tomb Raider, but do they own the rights to the original games?
Now, yeah.
As I don't know if they own the rights to the first few games.
God knows.
So I don't know if they would be able to make it, but someone has the rights to it, surely.
I hope so.
So I'd quite like to see the Tomb Raider games remade and like get a whole new control layout so that it's actually like in tune with what you would get today and it doesn't like really annoy you, because tank controls, I hate them. Sorry, Resident Evil games and Croc and everything else that has them.
Yeah.
I hate them.
By the way, just to let let you guys know the developer for Tomb Raider 1 was Core Design,
Okay.
and the publisher was Eidos.
All right. Okay. So, I
Yeah.
know. I don't think Core Design exists anymore. I think.
No, I don't think so.
So I don't know who owns the rights to those Tomb Raider games in particular. You'd imagine it might be Square since they own the right to the character Lara Croft, but it might not be.
Yeah, probably not, because then you could say the same for like Activision and Crash, like owning the originals, which is obviously not the case because they were Naughty Dog.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I would really like to see the Tomb Raider games remade, but if it was just the tank controls, I don't think I would get it. It would annoy me too much.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. What do you guys think about Tomb Raider? Do you think you would get it if it was like remade?
Oh god, yeah. Yeah, especially for Tomb Raider 2. Love that game.
Is that the one where you can
if
lock...
they change the tank controls, sure.
Yeah. Is Tomb Raider 2 the one that you can lock Jeeves into the freezer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And that's all I did because I couldn't play that game.
Yeah, me neither. I don't think I ever remember how to get out of the mansion, and I was just running about this stupid mansion, jumping into the pool and doing all this crap. Oh god, I don't know. But for anyone that's watching, what games would you like to see be remade or remastered, or just get like the Crash treatment? Be interesting to hear, because it's happening to a lot of games. Some games don't need it. Call of Duty 4, for example, didn't need it.
Nope.
So
I thought it's great. It's not really needed.
yeah, exactly. Like, wait 20 years after it's out,
Yeah.
then remake it. Not
Yeah.
like, how long was it? 10 years?
Something like that.
I don't think gaming's evolved enough since then.
No.
So,
They probably just like remastered it just so they could milk the online again.
well, wasn't it originally an exclusive if you bought a certain Call of Duty game? Like, it came free with it, and that was the only way you could get it at the time.
I couldn't tell you.
I'm sure it was something like that. And it's just, it annoyed people that wanted to play that, but not the new Call of Duty game.
Ah, right.
I'm not sure. I might be talking a lot of crap. But that is going to be the end of the Stars Gaming Show. But before we go, we do have everyone's favourite segment, which is Foot Reads Rap. And let us know, what rap have you chosen for this week?
I decided to go with Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio.
Yay!
Hey.
Never decent tune in my opinion.
Yeah.
Someone
no.
doesn't
Good
like-
classic.
like too much like rap, but it's a decent tune. So, here we go with Gangsta's Paradise. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. 'Cause I've been blasting and laughing too long that even my mama thinks my mind is gone. But I ain't never trust a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk. You know that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking and where you're walking, or you and your homies might be lined in chalk. I really hate to trip, but I gotta look. As they croak, I see myself in the pistol smoke. Fool, I'm the kind of G the homies wanna be like. On my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light. Been spending most of their lives living in the gangster's paradise. Been spending most of their lives living in the gangster's paradise. Been spending most of our lives living in the gangster's paradise. Keep spending most of our lives living in the gangster's paradise. Look at the situation they got me facing. I can't live a normal life. I was raised by the streets. So I gotta be down with the hood team. Too much television watching got me chasing dreams. I'm an educated fool with money on my mind. Got a 10 in my hand and a gleam in my eye. I'm a loked out gangster set tripping banger. And my homies it down, so don't arouse my anger, fool. Death ain't nothing but a heartbeat away. I'm living life, do or die. What can I say? I'm 23 now, but will I live to see 24? The way things are going, I don't know. Tell me why we are so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you and me. Been spending most of our lives living in the gangster's paradise. Been spending most of our lives living in the gangster's paradise. Keep spending most of our lives living in the gangster's paradise. Keep spending most of our lives living in the gangster's paradise. Power and the money, money and the power. Minute after minute, hour after hour. Everybody's running, but half of them ain't looking. What's going on in the kitchen? But I don't know what's cooking. They say I gotta learn, but nobody's here to teach me. If they can't understand it, how can they reach me? I guess they can't. I guess they won't. I guess they front. And that's why I know my life is out of work. Fool! Been spending most of their lives living in the gangster's paradise. Keep spending most of their lives living in the gangster's paradise. Keep spending most of their life living in the gangster's paradise. Keep spending most of their lives living in the gangster's paradise. Tell me why we are so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you and me. Tell me why we are so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you and me. And that's Gangster's Paradise. Good song.
Very good song.
Aye.
Classic.
Yep.
Well, we've been getting a lot of good songs in Footreed's rap recently.
Aye. I'm glad you like them.
I'm sure you're going to come up with something really crappy at some point.
What?
Has to have.
So guys,
Yep.
that is going to be the end of the Stars Gaming Show. Thank you very much for watching. It is a goodbye from Footloose 2005.
See you guys. Thanks for watching.
It is a goodbye from the Game Bustles J.
See you later.
And of course, it is a goodbye from me, Stars Gaming. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you again soon.